So, today has been an eventful day and not always in the right way. Here is what's happened. It's Thursday. Again, here we are, 1 week later, and I'm waiting for the district nurse. Again. Today, I'm hoping that she'll discharge me because, well, the tape that she put on last week still looks exactly the same as it did last week. But I'm really struggling to get a hold of her. I told her to come round first thing, and it's now not first thing. I've called the call centre twice, and I've messaged the phone that she usually carries with her, and I still haven't heard from her. So even if she does discharge me today, it looks like I won't be going bloody swimming after all, because I now won't have time with work and all my other appointments today. So I'm a little bit annoyed. But still, I have to wait here because she's the only one that can discharge me. So I wish she'd bloody well hurry up. The district nurse won't discharge me. I'm absolutely devastated because I really want to go swimming, and it's really getting to me that I can't do anything at all apart from sit here, and it's driving me insane. I have no pain, got no trouble with the leg, and I feel like I'm being treated like a 75-year-old. Not allowed to drive, and I've no idea why. And I can't work because they won't let me stand up, and the way it's looking at the moment, I'll be off work for a year. That's not feasible. From my point of view, it's just not feasible. So I'm going to go and see my GP today and see what he has to say. The roller coaster that is limb loss. I've calmed myself down. I've got an appointment with the GP later. I do not know why I shouldn't be allowed to drive. I can see why they are being so cautious with regards to the wound for swimming, but I'm just finding it really, really tough sitting, doing nothing all this time whilst we waited for it to heal. Because, well, when they took it off, they removed the problem. I feel great and I want to get on with the rest of my life. And I'm just finding it a bit hard to wait. At work. And I found that if I step into the normal, then I start to feel better. Getting out of the house and getting down to do some work, do something else. I'm hoping to hell that I'll be allowed to drive by the end of today. That will give me some freedom back, even if I still can't swim. Fingers crossed. Now, I have reflected on the whole thing, and I think what is getting to me the most is the fact that somebody in their ivory tower somewhere is calling the shots. And I feel like I have got absolutely no control over things. And as an amputee who's recently become officially disabled, that's not a good feeling, because you've already lost control of some things and are relying on mechanical devices to get yourself around. And then other stuff gets taken from your control by somebody sitting in an ivory tower up there somewhere that's got nothing wrong with them. That just rubs me up the wrong way, and I find that really, really hard to deal with. I'm not saying I disagree with it all. I agree with some of it, I disagree with some of it, and I've made that quite clear. But I do think that is really hard to deal with when you actually don't have control over what's going on, that somebody else is calling the shots. Me and the GP, we talked about this for a while, and he said eventually you'll get the control back, it'll come back, but I just need to exercise some patience. And patience is hard when someone else is calling the shots and you don't have control. Patience is really hard. So me and the GP, we had this conversation. It was not necessarily all calm, and I was really, really irate and very upset about the entire thing, about the fact that the discharge summary had cupped together swimming and driving, and I couldn't see how these were related, and what the heck has it got to do with wound healing, whether I can drive or not, because I don't need the left leg, and all of that jazz. And he understood exactly what I was saying, and I showed him the paperwork, which he didn't actually have a copy of, so they hadn't sent it to him. Anyway, we had a conversation, and I showed him that I could stamp my foot, and that there was nothing wrong with everything else, and why the heck could I not drive? He completely saw my logic, and then I did something I didn't even realize I could do. What a place to do it, but it's in the GP surgery, the best place. That's my security blanket. Okay. Ha ha. But I do actually have a positive here. Actually, I've got two positives. So after my little demonstration about how I can safely transfer and how I can stand up and I can stamp my foot and all that jazz, we had a problem-solving conversation, and guess what? I'm allowed to drive! Yay! This means that I can get around without having to use that godforsaken wheelchair taxi. But in the process, I actually showed him my other thing that I could do. You might have seen this already if you are on Instagram. Now, I've been practicing this. Actually, I haven't. I only tried it once to see if I could do it. And I actually could, which is good because I need to find somewhere to go tomorrow now. Today. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you might know that I have went to Wanaka for the weekend, stopped in Queenstown on the way home a couple of weeks ago, and it was the weekend I went away that the hospital didn't think I'd make it. Well, we stopped in a pub in Queenstown, on the way back, called Pug Mahones in Queenstown. Now, I made a comment on Instagram about the fact that their disabled access toilet actually didn't even fit a wheelchair through the door. I was actually disgusted by the fact that I actually couldn't even get in. Now, they replied asking me to email them, so I did. Now, I just got this lovely long email from the manager of that pub this evening saying that they had not realised that this was a problem, and that recently the sliding door had been pulled off its hinges, and somebody had come in to fix it, and they had not checked whether it was compliant with the width regulations. Admitted this was a fault, and they are calling this same person back in to fix the problem so that the door will open wide enough. So thank you, Pug Mahones, for replying to me, and I'm pleased to hear that you're actually going to fix the issue so that all disabled people can actually access the disabled toilet. Now, aside from that, I can say that my strength and balance is getting better on one leg, because, well, strange what small triumph you celebrate when you are in this position. So I made the tea yesterday, and I managed to chop all of the vegetables for the spaghetti bolognese while standing on one leg non-stop without having to rest. And then I rested. And then I cooked it, and I could sit down to reach the cooker. So that I saw was a triumph, that I managed to chop all the vegetables while standing on one leg. I can also now do all the washing up while standing on one leg. I used to have to sit down quite a lot because it used to hurt my standing leg quite a bit. So that is also a triumph. Like I say, it's strange the little things you celebrate when you have only got one leg left. And if you're an amputee, you will understand what I mean. Now, if you're not an amputee, you'll have no damn clue what I'm talking about. Because, well, what's the big deal? Well, yes, there's a big deal when you've only got one leg left to stand on. That's the big deal. So I have still got to wait another week or so for swimming, which is a bit shit, to be fair, because you underestimate the, well, actually, I don't, but a lot of people do, including the people that we're dealing with, underestimate what effect exercise has on mental health. And it always does get underestimated because mental health and exercise go hand in hand. And it's actually interesting because I've just written a blog on this for the business site. So that, yeah, maybe I should just whack a link below where to find that, because that's coming out in the next couple of weeks. And there is a very definite link between exercise and mental health problems. Now, I know this because when I am sitting housebound and not allowed to do anything, and I have been in this position a number of times, I have found it really, really, really challenging mentally to get through that. And I have seen an instant switch in my brain and my positivity and all that sort of thing the moment I'm allowed to go to the pool. And that is why, in between all those surgeries, the surgeon allowed me, even though it shouldn't probably have been allowed because I had an infection and an open wound and all that sort of thing. That is why the surgeon allowed me to go swimming on 2 occasions in between surgeries with waterproof dressing covering it, because she knew how important it was to me and how important it is for mental health. And it's driving me insane that I am not allowed to do anything and I've got to sit here. So much so, I'm actually considering trying one-legged cycling because I'm going batty. But I've also got to be careful of the knee replacement that I don't overload it as well. So it's a really tough balancing game, and I can see the roller coaster happening in me like throughout the day, never mind day to day. So if anybody tells you that being an amputee is a walk in the park, it's absolute claptrap nonsense. Now, I've just thought of a third thing, actually, that is a positive today. What I've been doing is I've been working my way through trying to get rid of some of the drugs. I was on a lot of drugs at one point. I had a great big bag full of them, and the pharmacy had stopped charging me. I was getting that many drugs. Now, I asked the doctors at the hospital what order I should get rid of them in. And I was told the first 3. So the first one we got rid of was the oxycodone. I was only on it for a day. So that was never a problem. Then he told me to try getting rid of the anti-inflammatories next, which was the celecoxib. Now, I did try this probably too soon after surgery, and I started getting weird things. So I went back on it. And then it was fine again. Now, week or so ago, my leg just simply stopped all of the nervy things, all of the pins and needles and all that just stopped. And I've got nothing at all. I can't feel a phantom limb. I don't have any phantom limb pain. I don't have any phantom pins and needles. I have nothing whatsoever. It's just literally a leg without a foot. No pain, no sensation, no nothing. I know this is very, very rare. So I thought, right, what's next on my list of things to cut out? So I chopped out the anti-inflammatories, the celecoxib. With that comes the stomach settling ones, the omeprazole. So 2 of those got to go at the same time, and I'm on day 3 and everything is still fine. So I went back to the doctor, and whilst I was there, I said, what next? So we've got, what next? What is next? Oh yes, the patch that I wear, which is clonidine patch, which is usually for blood pressure, but in this instance has been given for pain. I asked him, should I wait for a week till it's worn off, because I just put it on yesterday. He said, no, I'll rip it off. I'm really glad about that, because when I can go back swimming, this damn patch does not stay on in the water, and I end up having to cover it with something. So that makes me really happy. So now I've only got the nerve pain meds, which I know will be last to go, but he thinks we'll be able to drop them in a few weeks' time, and the paracetamol. Now, I already have forgotten a few times to take the paracetamol. It's no deal. So what I'm going to do is give it a few days with the celecoxib, see how we go. Take the patch off today, see how we go. And then if we're still going well, I'm going to knock out the paracetamol and see how we go. That leaves me with just one, the pregabalin, the nerve pain med, the Lyrica. Now, if it's still going well, then I'm going to start knocking the level down on that. We have to do it gradually. It's very, very, very temperamental, that drug. So I'm feeling, although I can't swim, really positive with regards to the drugs, because I hate taking drugs. And there's a few that I know I'm going to always have to take that are blood related to try and protect my right leg from developing any problems. But if I can get off all these nerve pain meds and drugs and all them nonsense, then I can drink some alcohol. So, although today started off shit, I do have some positives to report at the end. And we always have to find a positive in the day, because there always will be a positive. And if we don't look for the positives, we'll end up down in the doldrums. And like I said to you before, that is not a good place to be. So that's how today went. It was a bit like this, really. And we'll see how tomorrow goes. Maybe I'll take myself to the coffee shop, just because, and see how my transfers go when I'm all by myself. Hopefully I won't fall flat on my face. See you tomorrow.